How's it going, everyone? We are back with another weekly watch list. Thank you guys so much for tuning in the video, watching it. Really means the world to me. If you enjoy these videos, please consider dropping a like, dropping a comment, subscribing, sharing the video. It means the absolute world to me, like I said, so I do appreciate every single one of you who gives me even just a minute of your time. If you're just a guy like me who just loves the stock market, loves investing, loves day trading, swing trading, option selling, whatever, anything to do with it, let's team up, and I'd love to support your channel as well if you have one, so let me know. So in this watch list, we're going to be covering SPY QQQ, ES and NQ along with that, SPX along with that, and then 4 individuals, Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, and AMD. So let's start off with the individuals. So first things first, on the higher time frame, weekly, Apple breaking out of this really nice trend line flag, whatever you want to call it. We had weekly demand as well here, which we never even got into and tested, but we broke that flag, we retested it, and we ripped. We broke through a supply zone that we also had as well. So it looks really, really good for Apple, looks really, really strong. As far as levels go, I do have a daily gap at 230, so you can be watching that. Area for potential retest for support. As far as rejects go, we just have some pivot highs here from March 10th high at 241 and a March 3rd high at 244. If we take it down to a smaller time frame, I don't have any, let me see, actually, did I look for supply and demand? We do. So I did not look on the lower time frames for supply and demand on here. I literally did that on all my other tickers. And that's only just because I have not been looking at Apple as much. It was kind of in this sideways market. We kept rejecting this supply. But now that we've broken out of this supply, and we made a really strong move up, we do have some demand here, right? So this daily gap is also, right, the wick for this 4-hour demand, right? So we can watch that. We can watch the body of this candle as well. So this will be the 4-hour candle. And then we can take it down to lower time frames. So we can look at the 3-hour. So let's take a look at the 3-hour from that move. No demand there. We can look on the 2-hour from that move. Nothing there. We can look at the 1-hour. Nothing there. We can look at the 45-minute and 30-minute. 45-minute, nothing there. And then also the 30-minute, nothing there. So we have that really nice, I mean, man, that looks really great. If we do end up pulling back, man, that 4-hour demand right here with the daily gap from 230.79 down to 229.42, that looks really, really good. So would really be interested in that. We have our previous day high, previous day low. Let's see where we go. All right. As far as this level goes here, do I have this marked? Don't know this one. Oh, this was just a previous resistance that we blew through 1, 2, 3 times, and it hasn't been retested. So I'll just keep it on the chart now. So let's go back to the weekly time frame, and let's look at our next ticker, which is AMD, which has been on a little bit of a downturn here. We rejected this weekly supply, which was really nice for a swing. We've had 3 straight red weeks. Let's see if 150 whole cycle number does anything. We got a little bit of a bounce on there Friday. I do have the fibs marked just in case we keep going down. If we take it down to the daily, though, we have a daily gap here at 147.58. But we're going to see if 150 decides to hold up here at this area. Let me get rid of this. So we will see if 150 holds. If we break below 150, I will look for price to fill down to this daily gap. Then we have another daily gap at 140.69. No supply from this move down other than up here, which I'll get into in a second. But we have our previous day high and our previous day low. That's what I'll be watching. As far as supply goes, we have a 4-hour supply zone that we did make from this sell-off here all the way up at 161. So I will be watching that for a reject. Let's go back to the weekly and let's look at Nvidia. So very in sync with AMD here, 4 straight red weeks. We have our previous all-time high. It's going to be my main watch here for a bounce at 153.13. I have the fibs marked out as well if we get there. But previous day high, previous day low. Above the previous day high, we have a previous day low, turn to resistance, 169.42. And then multiple previous day highs, 172, 172.39. 173.27. Really would look for price to get over 173 here before longing, and then I have a 4-hour and 2-hour supply zone up at 177 to 178. Let's head back to the weekly, and we'll wrap up the individuals with Tesla. Tesla looks really good. We had this wedge here, flag, whatever you want to call it. We finally broke out of it here on the weekly, really strong close over that. We've had this wedge here, flag, whatever you want to call it, on the volume as well. So man, if this week picks up on the volume and it's to the upside, I would look for a move back up to 384, 400 whole cycle number. And then from there, maybe even a retest of this all-time high zone between 441 and 488. So we'll see what happens with Tesla. It's definitely an interesting watch. Take it down to the lower time frame. We have our previous day high, previous day low. Underneath the previous day low, we have an untested previous day high at 343.49 for potential support, and also at 338.94, same thing. It was also a previous day high. I believe. Why does that look a little off? Let's see. Previous day high. Maybe oh no, it was right here on Thursday. But again, next previous day low is going to be down here at 331. We also had this lower time frame kind of trend line flag area break here as well. So that was nice to see. I'll get rid of that now though. The daily trend lines are really the ones that I'm most interested in. But that's going to be watching on Tesla. So I would love for it to get over this 355, 357 area for a move back up to another high at 367. As far as pullbacks go, again, I'll be watching these levels here for a pullback. But that's going to be Tesla. So now we can head over to the indexes. So let's go over to the daily for those. We'll do SPY and QQQ. SPY and QQQ, actually really nothing on the daily. We'll just head down to the lower time frames. We have our previous day high, previous day low. Our previous day low was a 45 and 1 hour demand zone that we bounced out of really nicely on Friday. That was a nice look, really nice confirmation on the lower time frame. I personally just have a really hard time. It looks so obvious. I really need to try to forward test this more as I go. That is exactly what you want to see at a previous day low or a demand zone. But being under the EMAs, we've been selling off all day. Just really hard to kind of long into that, but it did work out really nicely. We do have this 2 hour supply here on SPY. It's just a massive zone, so I'm watching the wick and the open of it as always, but really not interested in the wick as much as the open of this candle at 650.47. Underneath the previous day low, my next bounce support demand is going to be down at this previous day low at 640.44, and it's also 45-minute and 1 hour demand as well. So that's everything I'll be watching on S&P. Of course, ES to follow with it. We have the same 2 hour demand. I'll be watching that. The wick of it is also right at 6,500, and then we have this 30-minute demand that we bounce out of again. Below that, the same 45-minute demand. It's also a 4 hour demand as well. SPX, simply just previous day high, previous day low is all I watch on SPX, and I just watch it as confluence for my SPY QQQ trades. Right? We have 6,500 in the middle as there to watch as well. And lastly, we'll wrap up with QQQ. We have our previous day high, previous day low. Underneath the previous day low, I have 568.93. Then we have 45-minute demand and 1 hour demand here at 567. And then below that, next support 565.99 to 566.72. We are not at all-time highs on QQQ, so if we're going to be strong and get over these highs here, I'll look for a break and retest over 583 for longs. Supply does not look as good on QQQ, so I'll not be marking that out. I mean, maybe the open here I could watch, but you know, it's just not my favorite look because I want to see a small green candle here, and it's a pretty large one. It takes up most of the red candle, but we'll keep it there just for a watch. And then lastly, NQ to wrap up. Same thing, has that 2 hour, so this looks a little bit better on NQ, so I can watch that, honestly. We'll watch this 2 hour supply here on NQ. So here we go. Oops. I always make them very faint just because I don't want them kind of like clogging out my chart. And then we'll go here on the 2 hour. This one, because the open does look better, I can make it like a real zone. So we'll do that. Actually, it needs to be white. And then we need to get a rectangle up there. Let's see. So I will watch this. We'll see what happens. Maybe something happens in the pre-market, whatever. Again, supply and demand, I do like it. It's just, you know, I like when they align with previous day high and previous day low levels better, just because they usually, you're kind of like bottom or top ticking with them. You'll be over the EMAs. You'll be kind of fighting against a trend. It's kind of like a reversal. So, but we'll see. We have our previous day low here, and then below that we have this demand, and then we have 24,000 and all-time highs just above. So that's going to wrap it up. I'm only trading one day this week, Monday, tomorrow. I'll be watching the charts on the other days, but I will be traveling, so I will not be trading. But I'm wishing you all a great week inside and outside the market, and I will see you all in the next watch list. Thank you, and peace out.